President Vladimir Putin is set to become the longest-serving leader of Russia since the 18th century. Despite unprecedented sanctions on the economy, no end in sight for the war in Ukraine, and a weakened opposition, his popularity remains strong. Putin was expected to struggle, but both he and Russia have endured far beyond expectations. So how did the opposite happen? Is Putin stronger than ever? The invasion of Ukraine was supposed to be quick and straightforward, like the annexation of Crimea in 2014, but that didn't happen. Soon, regular Russians were drafted into the military. 3 years later, Russian troops have made significant advances, capturing several major Ukrainian cities. Signs of Russia's growing military strength continue to emerge, making a Ukrainian and Western defeat seem more possible. But Putin has also faced major challenges. In 2023, his former ally Yevgeny Prigozhin led a mutiny, only to die in a suspicious plane crash months later. And in 2024, Ukraine launched a surprise attack in Russia's Kursk region. But none of this stopped Russia, which responded with brutal force. After the invasion, the West imposed sweeping sanctions on Russia, after freezing nearly $300 billion in foreign reserves. Russia today is the world's most sanctioned country. The goal was to cripple Russia's economy and limit its ability to fund the war. Over 1,000 companies cut back operations or left Russia entirely. But Russia, a resource-rich nation, defied expectations. Its economy grew faster than the G7 countries, leaving economists stunned. For most Russians, the impact of sanctions has been minimal. Groceries are still available, banks continue operating, and daily life remains largely unchanged. Despite Western efforts to weaken it, Russia's economy is still running strong, and the Western countries continue to import Russian gas.
It certainly seems that Putin has been able to solidify his power inside Russia, and indeed, many would argue that the war has actually helped him to do that, because whenever a country is at war, they have stronger arguments with their own population that they really cannot brook any dissent. Also, the Russian economy has suffered some negative consequences, but because it has continued to be able to export oil, then fundamentally they do have enough income coming in to keep the war going. The international standing, I think, is more complex. Beyond the West, the non-Western world has not wanted to isolate Russia in the same way that Western countries wanted them to. But I think there is also cynicism about Russia elsewhere. It's not that people 100% believe the Russian narrative, but that many in places like the Middle East or Africa or Asia say, well, all of the big powers are problematic, and we don't think Russia is unique in being a cynical power-grabbing actor.